kann ich die Waschmaschine benutzen, bitte? And kriege ich noch ein großes Bier? Cheers.
Cheers.
Hallo und herzlich willkommen zur 7. Show von Twumble. Heute einmal mit einer Sonderausgabe aus Brighton von der 10. Reasons to und mein Gast heute niemand anders als John Davey.
Yeah, so welcome, John Davey, to my little show. I just started. Very happy that you, like Mr. Famous, like knowing all these big people, big names, are guests in my little podcast.
Yeah, like you. I'm the only one that knows them. You know them all.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I just explained what my podcast is all about. It's more about the people behind stuff and the stuff they do. And so for those who don't know you. John and I know each other for 10 years now, exactly this year, because 10 years ago he started Flash on the Beach, which was like by far the best Flash conference I ever been to.
That's kind of you to say.
It's like
that's kind of you to say.
No, it was definitely. It was like an event everybody was looking forward to, not just because of the conference, also because the venue, the town you do it in, like Brighton, is lovely.
Yeah,
and all played together. It was like a really great happening every year.
It was great. It was like a big family thing.
Yeah.
You know, it was almost like a family reunion every year. I loved it. I kind of sad sometimes when I look back that Flash on the Beach isn't still around. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I get it. People move on, but those were fantastic days.
Sure.
You know, maybe it's good just to remember them as fantastic days.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's always a bit sad remembering that kind of stuff. I mean, even me not having run that conference is like a bit sad that it's gone. Even though you replaced it with a equally good thing. Actually, you didn't change much with like reasons to be creative.
Well, you know that, and I know that.
Yeah.
But I must say, sometimes I struggle getting that message across.
Yeah.
You know, but I think it's a good thing. It's a different audience, if you like. But you know what I loved about the Flash people were whether they would class themselves as developers or creatives, they all loved to try different things, you know, and that was really kind of what's the word, invigorating, because you knew that you've got a room full of Flash people and you go, who fancies trying to make a game? They'd all go, yeah, all right, let's try it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just the way their mentality, which is lovely, you know. And now I kind of look at the creative side of it, and I think to myself, they are the same people. It's just a different audience. It's kind of a much broader audience, you know. But people like you and people like me, Mark, I guess what we're trying to do is we're trying to make each event, everyone that attends it, feel like they are part of that family.
True.
That you want to be part of the experience that you put all your effort into, you know?
Yeah, true. So do you think all that spirit that you mentioned about the Flash community, that is lost with the people you have now, or is it like more spread? That like it's like overall knowledge and topics you cover is like way more.
No, I don't think it's lost at all. In fact, I just think that, you know, if you say the word design, it is so broad. And strictly speaking, the event isn't just design. It's, as the, you know, little strapline, code, design, code, create. You know, it's about creation, you know, and I kind of think, well, actually, we've got a ton of really talented people that speak at the event and attend the event. And it's just trying to help them unlock all of that creativity. You know, if you look at this year, I was lucky enough to have Mike Coos design the R for our new logo because I wanted to have a revamp. So he did that, and then I was chatting to him and I said, you know what would be really great is if, you know, other speakers that I know who are cool designers and developers, maybe they did their own versions. And then we came up with the idea of the remix, and hopefully you've seen it on the website.
I love it.
It's such a great thing that all I did was I just said to people, listen, I know you really well. I know you're really fantastic at whatever, art, code, numbers. Do you fancy doing this thing? And I was very careful not to say, oh, please, can you do it? Because I realised that people are busy, you know, and I don't want to eat into their time. So I just went, listen, it's a bit of fun. If you want to do it, that would be great. If not, then I completely get it. Don't worry. And I couldn't believe the response. It was overwhelming, just fantastic. And tomorrow you will see some of those remixes during the event. So, yeah, I'm excited.
So when I visited the page for the first time, it was like 3 or 4 on them on the page, or like 5 or something. But now it's like about 30 on there.
Yeah,
it's lovely. It's wonderful. Do you use that kind of stuff like during the event as well? Like, I mean, you said like I'm gonna see it tomorrow, but like like badges. Did you do print stuff with it? Did you do?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, every single badge that is going to attendees has 2 of the remixes on, front and back of the badge. And I just wrote a little kind of random, what do you call it? A random function in Excel to randomize all of the different badges that are available.
Random function.
Well, I didn't write the function. Yeah, I'm not that clever, but I used a random function.
Mean, Excel for me is like I can do calculations in there. Like, you know.
No, hey, listen. If you want anything done in Excel, I'm your man. I'm quite good at Excel. But anyway, so yeah, I randomised them all, and then I just thought, right, what I'm going to do is every single attendee gets 2 different remixes that are on the page. And do you know, the badges, because I stole the idea from your event of the, what do they call that, meta paper, those badges. Because I'm so impressed with those badges that you had that I thought, I've got to do something like that. Well, these things have come out. They are stunning. They look lovely. And funny enough, when I came to meet you, I bumped into a couple of people that stopped me and they went, look at my badge, look. And they were showing me what they had on it, and they were really excited about it. So it was, you know, it's great success. I'm really excited.
That's great. It's like they play. I can see, like you. I mean, that's why we are friends, right? I mean, we're all equally excited about what we do and like and the outcome. And if it works, we're going to go like, fantastic. Yeah, great. But let's talk about bit more about like the early days. Like, how do you start? Like, I mean, for me, I like people that listen to my podcast might know that I started all this stuff because like I really enjoyed the one thing I did, like the older kind of meetup for the Flash Forum stuff. How did you come to really like the idea of running an event for like 1,200 people at times?
Well, I don't know if I should admit how stupid I am. Many years ago, I was a developer that was very popular, and I used to use a product called Generator, which was a Flash product. And I found that a lot of Flash developers didn't actually use Generator. So I kind of got a lot of really cool work. And I did stuff for Disney, I did stuff for Asda Walmart, I did Robbie Williams' website, and a ton of stuff. I can't believe it now because I can't, you know me, Mark. I can just about do some PHP, but yeah, back then, obviously, I was into it. And then what happened was my daughter was born 3 months premature whilst we were on holiday in Austria. She's a Tiroleran, born in Innsbruck, accidentally. And of course, I kind of took my eye off the ball, really. I didn't concentrate on work. I didn't do anything. And at the same time, Macromedia, was it Macromedia or Adobe? I can't remember. One of them dumped Generator.
2006 was still Macromedia.
Yeah. And so, of course, immediately I went from Mr. Popular to just one of the other developers, really. And so I didn't, I kind of really, I wasn't working properly. I was paying attention to my new daughter and, I wasn't earning any money. Then I became massively in debt. I'd spoken at a few conferences and I thought, how do I get out of this debt? And I thought, why don't I do a conference like the ones that I've spoken at? And of course, back in those days, do you remember?
Who have you spoken to?
Yeah, do you remember Flash Forward?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I did, I think I spoke San Francisco, Boston, Seattle.
That must have been 1999?
Yeah, something like that. And I really loved them. I loved the idea that people would want to go somewhere where these really cool guys were making stuff that they wanted to know. How do you do it? How do I get into it and stuff? So, of course, I was really excited to be part of that circuit. But then when Amy was born and I started getting really in debt, and of course then I had nothing special to show people because I wasn't the Generator guy anymore, I just thought, what am I going to do? And that's when I thought, maybe those big conferences, they're all in America. Why don't I do something like that in the UK? 3 theatres, 40 odd speakers, it was an exciting thing. Anyway, I decided to do it. Luckily, my wife didn't kind of stop me. And about a month into organising it, I thought, oh shit, if this goes tits up, I'm going to lose my house. Because actually I didn't realise that to meet all the overheads of a big conference like that, you've got to put bums on seats, right? And each one of those people is paying a ticket. Well, if they don't buy the tickets, you can't afford the things. And I thought, because I'm not the person that runs away from a debt, I just thought, shit, if I don't sell enough tickets, I'm going to have to sell my house to pay the suppliers and the venue owner.
There are moments where you go like, oh, yeah, I remember these. Yeah.
And what happened was I was very lucky because I think there was a kind of a need for that kind of event in Europe, and people came to the event, and it was a success from the word go. And I just used to love it because really it was never about the money for me. It was all about the idea of getting a ton of friends that I wanted to see every year together for a big party, right? And at the party, the price of the party is, do you mind speaking on stage for an hour?
Yeah. Similar attitude, definitely. But
yeah.
So, you say you it's not about the money for you, but obviously you have to make money with it. So that's like a problem, at least for me sometimes. Because I'm pretty easygoing, but like sometimes you look at the numbers and you go like, damn, will that work out? And you go like, and will I keep on? I mean, 10 years is a lot of time. I mean, imagine what happened in 10 years. I mean, I met your daughter when she was 8 for the first time, right?
Yeah,
it was like that was little, and now she's 18.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of time passed by, and like you're still doing it. So you must do something right, or is it more?
No,
like
because when I'm not doing a conference, I rob banks. No, little old ladies. I hit them on the head and run away with their handbag. No, Mark, you're absolutely right. But I have to say, you're a young guy and you're talking to an old guy, right?
Not true, actually.
Yeah,
I'm younger than you.
I could be your dad.
Really?
Yes, I might actually be your dad. No, yeah. Now you know why you've got funny twitch. Anyway, no, the thing is, when you're young, okay, younger than you, but young, everyone starts off, they leave school, and as a young kid, and my daughter's going through this, you think, fucking, I'm going to take over the world. You know, I am cool. I'm going to make millions of pounds. I am the man, right? And as you get older, you go, maybe I'm not the man. Maybe I won't be a millionaire, but I'm going to make loads of money and have a really nice car, right? And then you get a little bit older and you kind of go, I never really got that car I wanted, but, you know, I'm happy. I'll go on holiday. And what I found is as you get older, or certainly in my case, as I've got older, I've kind of realised that there might be a ceiling on my earning potential. However, as long as I never have a problem going skiing or getting on a plane to go somewhere I'd really like to go, and as long as I can try and remove the sentence, I can't afford, you know, then actually life's good. And I'm not saying about being greedy. Yeah. I'm not saying, oh, I want a really nice, I want a Porsche or something. No, I'm saying in normal life, as long as I don't have to say I can't afford, then actually I'm cool. And, you know, listen, Mark, you and I share lots of private and sensitive information. And you know, for the last 3 years, I've not really made any money to talk about. But I love what I do.
Yeah.
I love the reaction from people. And I love the fact that they love the event. And for me, that's the payoff, you know.
So talking about this, I mean, like, that's like with like, from like a really successful event with a different name, coming to doing the exact same thing, actually, what you did before, just changing the name, and having like maybe like half the people at the event. Yeah. So,
are you trying to upset me now?
No, is it just like, I mean, how do you like deal with it? I mean, like,
I tried cutting my wrists, but no.
The thing really is, I have one theater to deal with.
Yeah.
Certain number of speakers, like 13, 14 speakers. But you have got like 3 theaters, over 40 speakers. So, and that's like a fucking big risk.
Well, yes.
You know, I mean, like, and if you see the numbers dropping.
Yeah. So there's
is it more like I love what I do and I have to keep doing it and it will be better one day, I know it? Or is it more like I don't know what to do else?
Right. So I think really there is a big degree of it will get better. And I don't want to sound on your podcast like the guy that is going, oh my God, it's terrible. Listen, life's not terrible.
No, I know that. You don't think like that.
You know,
so
I don't know.
If you wouldn't be positive, you wouldn't sit
exactly.
here.
I'm a positive guy. I just believe that, okay, it would be great to get back to the numbers that I had at Flash on the Beach. Now, part of that I actually believe is my own fault, because I will go to maybe another event or say a bar or something like that, and I'll meet someone and I'll say, oh, what do you do? Oh, yeah, I'm a designer or I'm a developer. And I go, oh, yeah. And they go, what do you do? And I say, oh, I run an event called Reasons 2. Oh, really? Oh, what's that about then? And I'll say, oh, it used to be Flash on the Beach. Almost everyone will go, oh, I knew Flash on the Beach, but I didn't know about Reasons 2. Now, that is me being bad at marketing, maybe a bad business person, you know, because naively I kind of thought, well, you know, they will all follow, they'll come.
They will follow and they will join you.
Even to this day, I get people say, oh, I knew Flash on the Beach. Yeah, it had a fantastic reputation, but I didn't know Reasons 2. Well, that's my own fault. But, you know,
why do you think it's your fault, actually?
Because if I was a really good businessman, you and I both know really good businessmen. And what they would have done is they would have gone, right, I'm going to market this and I'm going to transition from this name to that name. And I'm going to make sure everyone knows. And, you know, absolutely. And that is the way it should be done. But I never was a businessman in the first place. I just happened to be good at doing this, probably because I've that kind of personality that I like to talk to people. And I like to throw the best barbecue. So everyone leaves it going, you know, what a great barbecue. We've got to go back to John's. It's the same as my event. I want people to go, what a great event. I want to go back to it. So, I kind of think, well, I have to be philosophical about this. Do you know the weird thing is, if you have money, you can throw that at marketing. And what does it do? It gets more people in, which means you get more money you can throw at more marketing.
Absolutely.
So, of course, I've never really done that. Never done it. It's always been word of mouth. So actually, I kind of think, well, I know a lot of cool people. I know put on a great event. And as you know, this year, Mark, it's funny because I was talking to Jessica Hish in the car. I just brought her from the airport. And she said, do you know, it's really, really rare that you see so many heavyweight speakers at one event.
Yeah.
And I kind of think, well, that's great. Okay, maybe I'm not making tons of money, but you know what? I'm hanging out with all my friends.
Yeah, and it's good for the heart and for the
exactly.
motivation, right? I mean,
and I believe
you're doing
that
something good. I mean, you've seen my little, really little blog
and
post.
you did a lovely blog post about
that's it.
I appreciate that.
I mean, if you see all this, right, and you see the numbers for you, I mean, okay, used to be 1,100 or 1,200 people, and now it's like 600, 700 people, whatever the numbers are. It's like still a lot. I mean, other events, like, have been plenty, like, they're happy if they have 200, 300 people. So, like, it's just a matter of, like, how you set the bar, right?
Yes.
So that's the point. I mean, like, sure, talking about numbers and money, you say, like, 1,200 people would be way better.
Yeah.
But isn't it? Aren't you satisfied to have like 600 or 700 people there as well? I mean, is it because you have all those big names and then you go like, for these big names, there should be more, or is it like more like?
Yeah. Okay. So, many facets of your friend John Davey. You probably know better than anyone, right? There is the Mr. Grumpy. There is the Mr. Happy. There's the Mr. kind of, it will get better, and there's the Mr. This is all fucking shit and it's never going to get better, right? Well, I could be Mr. Grumpy and go, I don't get the numbers and blah, but what good is that going to do me, right? It's not going to change anything. So I have to be philosophical about it. And my attitude is, if I do the best job I possibly can, people will go home and they'll talk to their friends and go, you've missed a fantastic thing. And maybe their friend will come the next year. And sooner or later, it will get bigger and bigger. Now, you said, there's some events that have...
German listen friends here, it would be like the drei Fragezeichen and der Telefonlawine.
What's that? That sounds like a piss take.
No, it's not.
Guido, can you open our whiskey so we can have a whiskey together?
It's actually not a piss take. So it's a bit like... So we have a kids audio like books thing which is going on. It's called Drei Fragezeichen, and there's like 3 kids having a detective bureau.
Oh yeah.
And what they have got is something that's called Telefonlawine, which is like you know what a lawine is? Like snow, like coming down the hill.
Oh right, yeah.
What do you call that in English?
Well, they use the French word piste.
Yeah,
I call it a trail.
So they say, so to find out something, they go like, we call one friend. And he called 3 more friends.
Oh, yes.
And all of these called 3 more friends.
Yeah,
and
it's like a virus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what you're talking about. Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of think, well, in the absence of me paying for marketing, what you want is your audience to become your evangelist. Because there is nothing better than someone saying to their friend, listen, you really should come to this thing with me because it is amazing. I saw some great talks.
Marketing you can't pay.
Yeah, exactly. It's better than me going, I'm going to put an advert into
better than any like magazine.
Exactly.
Like print ad is in.
By the way, I have to say to your podcast listeners that the noise that you might be able to hear in the background, I just asked Mark's friend Guido to pour me a whiskey, which Mark... Lovely Mark has bought me a gift of a bottle of Lafroig, which is my favourite. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I mean,
Thank you, Guido.
I mean, everybody who knows me knows how much I enjoy.
Click
we
on podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.
Mm. God, I tell you what, Lafroig is great.
It is, yeah. I know a lot of people hate it.
Really?
They meet me after I had one. They go like, you stink.
Yeah. But I love it because it's just such a good whiskey.
Yeah, but that's a different podcast, the whiskey.
Yes.
We do an episode about whiskey as well.
I should get back on track. Yeah.
So, now, just wanted to say, like, everybody who knows me, like closer than a lot of the attendees, surely knows that, like, all about passion that I've got, like, for running the event.
Mm-hmm.
And surely there's like a lot of things where they go like, you don't have to do this and that. And especially when it comes to money, all my friends, like you do a minute ago in a pub set to me or to another friend, it's like my friends asked me, they asked me or him when I'm not there, what is Mark doing the rest of the year? I mean, he's only working for 4 days, right? And I mean, what are you doing the rest of the year? You're working for 3 days here in Brighton, and the rest is like big party for you, right?
Do you want my wife's response to that, or do you want my response to that?
I know your wife, so I want you.
No, I'll give you both. My wife says he only works 3 days a year. He's lazy, you know. All he does is sit at home and watch movies, you know, things like that. Okay.
Leaves everything to the last minute.
Yes, he leaves everything to the last minute. Look at him, look. And he's fat. Anyway, my my response would be, if I'm being honest, yes, there are times when I have got time on my hands. But actually, as you do, Mark, we kind of fill up our spare time because we do a lot of, I think this is really underrated, but a lot of thinking, a lot of pondering on ideas and things like that. We also go to other events and, our wives will say, oh, they're just going on a jolly and all they're doing is hooking up with each other and having a few beers and just partying. Listen, it's not unpleasant. It's lovely to go out and meet your mates at an event like that.
It is, but the one doesn't exclude the other.
No, exactly. And the thing is, we're there for a couple of reasons. But the main one is we are broadening our network, which is the most important thing for your listeners when they think, why should I go to an event? Broaden your network, because the bigger your network, the bigger your opportunity.
Yeah, you meet so many people, really. And sometimes people where you think like, what should be the benefit of speaking to that guy or girl right now, right? And then 2 years later, that person is in a position asking you to work with them or something. And you go like, oh, good, I met her. Yeah, and I call that, I believe in karma. I'm a big believer in karma. And I just think, sometimes when you go to an event, you meet someone that you've never met before and you're really nice to them, or you do a favour, or you're just pleasant, and then, like you say, 2 years later, something happens. There are times in my life that I'm being serious, Mark, I've thought, who have I done a favour to get this fortune now? A great, let me tell you, if you don't mind, I'm going to tell you a day. Go ahead. So one day, Joe and I are going to New York, and this is I'm going to make it a short story so it's not so boring. So we're going to New York, and I said to Joe, we'll get a cab to the airport. So we wait for the cab, and all of a sudden this car arrives, but it doesn't look like a normal taxi cab. It looks like almost like it's not a stretch limo, but it's a kind of a really nice big Merc or something, and I'm thinking, look at this. This is all right, isn't it? What a lovely way to start the day. Got this big Mercedes. We're both going to sit in the back and feel like we're special, right? So we go to the airport, and I'm thinking, what a lovely start to the day. So we get to the airport, and my wife, so you can imagine this conversation. As we're walking into the airport, I said, right, Joe, do not say a word. I am going to try and blag it. Do you understand what blag means? Explain it for
Okay, so blag is going to try and convince someone when really they shouldn't do the thing you're asking them to do, right? So I said, I'm going to try and blag it that we get upgraded to business. And she went, oh, don't be stupid. They never do it. And you're not going to get, what do they give you business for, right? I'm like, oh, Joe, just let me feel like I'm trying, right? Let me do it. Anyway, we get to the desk. And I say to the guy, look, as you can see, I've got business on the way back because I could afford that, but I couldn't really get the business on the way there. Any chance you can upgrade us? And he went, yeah, if you give me £600 each. And I'm like, oh, forget that. That's more than I paid for the flights, right? So as we walk away, Joe does that look, that a wife gives to her husband when she kind of goes, told you so, like one of those. Anyway, I think, okay, fine. So we go through and we get to the bit where you give your tickets in to get on the plane, and there's a ton of people. So I said to Joe, wait until the end, right? Let's let them all on. So anyway, we're the last people to walk on. As we go, she gives them the tickets, and they say, oh, sorry, there's something wrong with these tickets. And we went, oh, sorry, what? We just picked them up, And they went, no, we're going to have to upgrade you. So, of course, I'm like, whoa! So this is number 2, right, of the day. We've had the lovely car. Now we've been upgraded to business. I'm thinking, oh, this is great. So we go and sit on the plane. And, of course, with the plane, you're with the chair up and down. I'm thinking, oh, I love this. And then the lady who is the purser of the plane comes around and she starts chatting to us. And as you know, Mark, I'm very friendly. I talk to everyone. So I'm talking to her on the plane, chatting to her and being friendly, asking her where she's going to stay in New York and what she's doing. Anyway, she was lovely to us. As we are coming into land, a steward walks up to us and says, Mr. and Mrs. Davey. Okay, yeah. He says, oh, the purser said to give you this. And gives us a big bottle of champagne, right? So this is number 3. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, we've had the car, we got upgraded, and now we've got champagne for no reason, right? Yeah. I'm thinking, this is amazing. So, of course, then we land, we go into the airport, get our bags, and we go out, because I had hired a car, right? Go out to get the car. The woman does the paperwork. And she's a bit grumpy, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe the good luck has finished, right? Anyway, we go outside to get the car. Have you ever seen the film Planes, Trains and Automobiles? When he goes to the car park and the only car that's not there is his. It's like a space with skid marks, right? So she'd said, get your car from A16 to 25. I go out. Not one car in A16 to 25. And I'm like, oh, my God, I've got to go back in. I say to the guy who's like the attendant, I went, listen, mate, our car is supposed to be here, A16 to A25. Where's the car? And he went, I guess it's your lucky day, man. Take that one. And I turn around and there's this great big super cool motor that I'm like, oh my God, I've got that one now. So it came in force. And so the reason why I told you that story is because every now and then in life you kind of go, who did I do something really good to? Because that was a day I must have done something great.
And that is that the moment when, because like, it's part of something I'm going to speak about in 2 weeks in Bologna. Is that the moment when you sometimes reflect and think like, thank you?
Yes, absolutely.
No matter to whom, just thinking, sitting down and thinking, thank you.
Yeah. And I have to say, as I've gotten older, I've kind of changed. I don't really believe, oh, God did this and stuff like that so much, but I do think
you mentioned karma. I believe in that as well. I think like if I do something good for you, doesn't mean
one day it'll come back.
You will do something good for me. Maybe someone else, like Guido sitting there, will fill another glass of whiskey or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of think, well, and also, listen, Mark, I also believe there's the other side. Sometimes when you have some misfortune, you got to think to yourself, maybe I wasn't so nice when I could have been. So listen, we've got completely off track because I talk a lot of shit, but
No, but I mean, the interesting thing or the reason for inviting people to this little show is like exactly this. It's not about like how do we get the most money out of my thing that I do. It's more like really the person behind it. And I mean, that was like a lovely, lovely thing that you told.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if I speak to people about your event, or if I hear other people giving me feedback or hearing that feedback was given to them. They pass it on to me. It's always like really interesting how personal that feedback is. It's not about like, oh, this and this talk was good, and I come to this event because like this is a special food or whatever. It's more like about the person always. It's more about like, so how do you measure feedback at your event? Because that's interesting for me. Like, I mean, feedback for me is like always about like, do I measure numbers and like ratings, or do I measure like more like if I speak to someone and get like direct feedback?
Yeah. Well, listen, Art, you and I think I'm not saying that we are alone in this, because there must be a ton of people doing events that are fantastic like ours. Well, I think ours, yours and mine. But I know the passion that you put into it, and the care and the thought and the hope of what the end result will be, that people have an amazing time and want to come back, right? So I look at that and I think, if you put everything you can into this and really put your heart into it, people feel that at the event, and when they feel it, they think, I'm going to give some personal feedback here. I'm going to say how much I enjoyed this, or I really like the way that you did that. And so I guess really, that personal feel, that kind of friendly atmosphere, in my case, a vibe that I want people to think, it's great fun being there, as well as I get educated and inspired. I kind of think if you put all of that into that, they feel like, I'm part of this, and therefore, and listen, you've had the same as me. I've had emails before that say, right, John, I want to tell you all the good things. There's something I wasn't happy with, but I want to tell you because I feel like this is my event. I know it's yours, but I feel like it's mine, and that is why I want to give you this honest feedback. I love that, because, by the way, that's my text message from my wife, probably saying, when am I going to have a bath? No, I kind of love that feedback, because you think, in my case, Mark, I think someone has taken the time and effort to give me their real thoughts. It's too often nowadays you get people, you go, what do you think of so-and-so? And they go, yeah, it's nice. You think, I wish I hadn't asked you, because I wanted you to kind of respond with some enthusiasm. Nice, really? Is that it? Someone's put effort into this thing for you
say
to
in
say
German,
nice?
Nett ist die Schwester von Scheiße, we say in German, no? Isn't it like that? So, nice is the sister of shit.
Yeah. Well, people that say nice, they're Warmduschers. Or Luftpumpers. See, I do know some German.
Yeah, John. So, just a very short statement about the future. Are you continuing? I mean, you know how the numbers are right now. Are you still like passionate, like motivated enough to keep on and like do stuff? What magazines would ask me now, like if I do interviews at the moment, because for whatever reason right now I give quite some interviews. They ask me always like, what's the plan for the future? Expansion. Like, are you expanding? What about you?
Listen, that's a little bit too organised for me. I'm not that.
I never know what to answer.
I'm not that clever.
Yeah.
No, so what's the future? I love what I do. I'm probably going to continue doing that. Listen, I'm no fucking good to anyone.
Yeah.
So who's going to employ me? So the best thing I could do is the best thing I can do. So I think I'm very good at what I do. I think I put on a great event. As long as people like it and still want to come, then that's what I'm going to do. But listen, I'm philosophical. As long as I get to see you, and when I come to Crayfelt and I see you, you make me ride 60 kilometres on a fucking bike. Try and kill me. That's what I enjoy. Hey, listen, but Mark, by the way, I'm teasing you about the bike thing. I actually really enjoyed our day out when we went on the bikes. But I just like to give you a hard time, you know that.
I know that. But what I can say is like what you just said, like the best thing I can do, I keep on doing. And I hope you just do it like for many, many years.
No, really. I appreciate that.
Because otherwise there's no reason for me to come back to Brighton, right?
Yeah, well, the other thing is, Mark, I really kind of hope that in 10, 15, 20 years, you and I are sitting here with, in our wheelchairs, like grey hair, going, yeah, I think I'll continue doing the conference. Yeah.
John, thank you for being here.
Let's click glasses. Cheers, Mark. Thanks for having me.